Welcome back to Daytime Ottawa. Well, this is a regular monthly segment. So comedian Jen Hayward reached out to me quite some time ago and says, listen, Derek, I want to try new things. I'm going to go out and just try new things, and I'm going to come on the show. I'm going to tell you and the viewers what my experience was like. So this is another episode of Jen Does Things. The strange part of this episode is that Jen's not here. Sarah Jean is here. Sarah Jean Stewart. Sarah, welcome.
Nice
okay, first of all, let's talk about where's Jen? What happened to Jen, Sarah?
Well, unfortunately, Jen did try stuff, but then she got a tooth abscess. So because I organize adventures for her, I came on to talk about her experience this last time.
So you organize the adventures. Okay, so what makes you so good at organizing adventures? Is this something you've always been interested in?
It is. I do some freelance travel writing, so I get to see a lot of adventures, but also I've homeschooled my children for years, and we sort of live a life of life is adventure, and a lot of our learning comes from being out in the world doing things. And so we sort of tried to adapt that philosophy to Jen, who wanted to have some new experiences, try new things in her life, and get a little bit outside of her comfort zone.
Like, was there a reason why she wanted to do this in particular?
Well, she spent a lot of years in her life in business. She's also a comedian, she does a lot of things, but she hasn't really explored what it means to be Jen, what she's really interested in.
I see.
She's trying to try new hobbies, get into some things that maybe scare her a little bit, and thought that maybe I would be the one to help her do that.
And I understand you helped scare her. So you decided to set up an adventure, I guess, like a haunted adventure. Tell me about this place that you went to.
So our family's a big Halloween family. We do a lot of haunt attractions. You know those Halloween attractions that come out for the month where you go and walk through and get scared.
Right.
And there was a new one near where we live. We live in Winchester, and Chesterville has a new haunt called Extreme Fear Hauntings.
Oh.
And so I thought, well, this is close to home. Jen's never done this before. And she thought that she might like to be a little brave this year. When we watch horror movies at home, she hides in her bedroom.
Really?
We took her to see Resident Evil in the theaters because one of our kids was in it, and she spent most of the time hiding under a blanket. So it was really, really outside of her comfort zone.
So how did you convince her to go to this then?
I'm going to be honest. She was brave. She came to me. She asked to go to a haunt this year.
I see.
And asked me to choose one for her. And this one looked really awesome. And part of their proceeds go to a charity that is a camp for children with cancer and blood disorders.
Oh, excellent.
So it seemed like a great place to go, nice and close to home. I didn't know exactly what to expect because it is new, but it was fabulous. And I'm proud to say that Jen made it out without crying.
She did. She made it out without crying.
Yes. She's not here because we gave her a heart attack, I swear. Yeah.
Well, okay. What's the scare level, do you think, of this place? Like, if you rated it 1 to 10, what's the scare level?
We've been to a lot of them. I would say that the scare level is maybe a 7, but the production value was incredibly high. Like, they really pulled out all the stops to make sure that it was an immersive experience. I won't tell you too much and give it away because you really should go see it. They're running right from Wednesday through to Halloween this week, so they have a whole week of production, and it was very well done. Their set design was incredible. They had a bunch of really great scare actors. It's 2 segments, so you start outside and there's a tented area. By the time we got to the end of that, one of the people taking us through said, I think you're going to lose her on the next pass. She's not going to make it through the other end. And I think that's what drove her. I think that's how she made it through without crying. She was determined.
Do you think this sort of changed her mindset a little bit now that she's gone through something like this?
I'm not convinced that she would do it again.
Oh, really?
But she's had the experience. And,
okay.
And she didn't pass out or die. So
you're going to line up some others. Let's look ahead a little bit here. What sort of is the next adventure? Have you got any ideas?
So we're thinking if we can manage to fit it in. We were going to go mushroom hunting.
Okay. So this is becoming like crazy popular.
It is, and we've been doing it for years.
So it's like foraging.
Exactly.
I guess,
yeah,
right?
and learning a little bit about what to eat and what not to eat. That's very important.
That's incredibly important.
And going with an expert is a very important part of foraging, in particular for mushrooms.
Right.
So The mushrooms weren't fruiting this year, though, when we thought they would be because there wasn't enough rain. So it's possible that we'll fit that in before her next segment.
Okay.
We also have some other interesting things in line. She'd like to try a bit more art. So,
art?
Yeah, so we have possibly some artistic pursuits coming up.
Like painting, sculpting?
I have some plans for a lot of different media for her.
Really?
So
Okay.
we'll see what comes up over the year.
Is she artistic at all? Like, does she have? I know she's artistic in the theater, comedy sort of range, but is she working with her hands?
So I think yes. She never really had an opportunity to explore that.
Okay.
And then this year I taught her how to do a little bit of digital art, digital collaging, and she's been having a great time doing that and actually has a very good artistic eye. So I think if she had someone there to teach her some technique, she could pretty much rock any media.
I want to go back to the mushroom foraging. You said you've done this before.
We have.
So what is a day like? Are there opportunities where you may not come across mushrooms, or I guess they really know what they're doing and where to look?
Your guides are going to take you somewhere where they know you're going to find something that you can eat, right? And so we've gone with a couple of different experts. We've gone as far as Tweed to go look into a giant forest full of mushrooms and came home with 12 different varieties.
Really?
And there are also lots of different places here close to home. There's even a mushroom society here, so you can join and go on their forays.
Society?
We do.
Why didn't I have you on the show sooner, Sarah? To find out things like, so I mean, were they, like, did you like all the mushrooms that you try? Were some sort of that wild, earthy?
I love mushrooms.
I do too.
I will eat any mushroom. I have not come across one yet that I didn't like, but some are very interesting, like things that you might not even realize are mushrooms. There's one that we really like called shrimp of the woods that looks just like little white clumps on the ground. You might not even realize that it was a mushroom if you weren't out with an expert who was there to teach you. There's giant puffballs is a very common one. Some of them are this big.
Yeah, I've seen those before.
Yeah, we went with our children. They were bigger than their head. So.
That is amazing. All right, so Jen will be back next month unless she has another incident. Jen, we're thinking of you. Good luck with the tooth. Looking forward to the mushroom foraging and, of course, whatever else Sarah has lined up for you in the following months. We'll be back with more right after this.